There's a lot of things that can run down your magnesium since it's used in hundreds or thousands of functions in the body, that once you get low in magnesium, you're gonna suffer. So combining the beef liver plus a magnesium supplement will get you, a nice baseline.
We are Gold Ivy.
Our mission is to empower you to own and unleash your truth.
Stories of resiliency are gold, and ivy grows in hard places.
Those hard places are what creates space for light to shine through.
You decide what works for your daily life and how to transform our lessons into your gold.
This is Ivy Unleashed,
a Gold Ivy production. Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. We are so thrilled to welcome back a guest who has become a true pillar of wisdom in our health community. Dan Corrigan, the founder of Smidge Small Batch Supplements.
Last time Dan was here, we walked through his incredible story of survival and how he turned a life-threatening health crisis into a mission to create the cleanest supplements on the planet. But today, we are taking that conversation to the next level. Dan has just released his groundbreaking new book, Eat Well, Supplement Well, Digest Well. And it is the manual we have all been waiting for. I have specifically been waiting for this for years, something I wish I had when I started my health journey.
We're going to dig into the why behind this book, and we're also getting a first look at the future of Smidge. We're talking about the ancient superfoods like emu oil and kakadu plum that are changing the game for immunity and gut health. And we're finally breaking down the mystery of digestive enzymes so you can stop just eating healthy and actually start absorbing that nutrition. If you're ready to simplify your supplement routine for 2026, this is for you.
Now let's get into the episode, but first, a word from our sponsors.
Before we get back to today's conversation, I want to talk about something that hits most of us as we enter the premenopausal and menopausal years, that sudden, frustrating shift in how our bodies feel. We often talk about hot flashes, but we don't talk enough about the menopause middle, the stubborn bloating, the brain fog, and the fact that our digestion just seems to stall.
This isn't just in your head, it's in your microbiome. Trust me, I have worked for years to continually care for my gut health. As we age, our estrogen and progesterone levels drop, and we actually lose the diversity of the good bacteria in our gut. This dysbiosis leads to an increase in inflammatory bacteria, which is why we suddenly struggle with constipation, mood swings, and even sleep disturbances. That's why I want to introduce you to Relievance.
Relievance isn't just another fiber supplement. It was developed by Dr. Robert A. Gans, a nationally recognized board-certified gastroenterologist with over 30 years of clinical experience. Dr. Gans saw the limitations of standard fiber products and created this proprietary 8-fiber formula.
What makes Relievance different is the science of balance. It combines 8 different fibers, each selected for their specific viscosity and solubility. This allows the formula to dissolve gently and support your natural gut rhythm without the harsh gas or bloating often caused by single fiber supplements.
By increasing your fiber intake with a blended formula like Relievance, you're doing more than just staying regular. You're feeding the beneficial bacteria that help regulate your hormones, clear that menopause brain fog, and stabilize your energy levels. It's a tool to help fight the physiological effects of aging and reclaim your daily comfort.
It is third-party tested, gluten-free, and contains 0 artificial additives or fillers. It's just pure, clinically balanced support for a sensitive stomach. Sign me up.
If you're ready to target bloating at the source and support your microbiome through this transition, it's time to try the formula Dr. Gans developed for his own patients.
For your convenience, you can find Relievance Fiber right on Amazon or visit relievancefiber.com. Feel like yourself again with Relievance.
Welcome back to the moment of pause, Ivy Unleashed listeners. You know Brooke and I are always talking about our love for coffee, but lately I've been craving something simpler, more ritualistic.
I'm right there with you, Dre. The truth is, running this podcast, running our lives, it's a beautiful chaos, but our nervous systems are calling. I've been trying to lean into small, intentional moments, especially around my midday pick-me-up.
Me too, and that's why I'm so obsessed with what our 2-time guest, the incredible Dr. Neetha Bhushan, has created. Chai tonics.
Neetha's story alone is so moving. After facing immense loss and becoming a busy mama, she didn't just want a chai that tasted good. She wanted one that healed. She took the wisdom of her childhood, the power of ancient Ayurveda, and created these instant superfood lattes to support the modern woman. It's her permission to pause in tea form.
Seriously, it's the instant ritual we all need. I have been absolutely living on the Focus Flow chai. It's my ultimate wake-up call. It's packed with brain-boosting adaptogens like lion's mane and Brahmi for clean energy and calm focus. No crash, just mental stamina. It helps me tackle the editing and the show notes with total clarity.
And I have been making a calm moment midday for balance with the gorgeous pink rose ritual chai. It's instantly soothing, crushed rose petals, ashwagandha, shatavari. It's nervous system support, stress relief, and just the most beautiful moment of self-care. It reminds me to breathe and to come back home to myself.
I also need more of that. It's truly your chai upgraded. Organic superfoods, vegan, naturally sweetened. You just add water and sip slow. Chai Tonics was crafted for the woman who craves ritual but doesn't always have the time.
It's time to tend to yourself, Queen, and they even have a quiz on the website to match you with the perfect blend for your lifestyle.
Stop running on empty. It's time to try this gorgeous line of teas. We highly recommend you commit to the journey with a month's package.
Visit chaitonics.com today to join us in slowing down to enjoy these beautiful chai teas.
And as Neetha would say, go get your ritual, love. And now to this episode of the Ivy Unleashed podcast. Welcome back to Ivy Unleashed. Today is an awesome day. We have back Dan Corrigan. Welcome to Ivy Unleashed.
Hey, great to see you guys again.
So last time you were here, we teased and just touched on your book a little bit, but here it is, Eat Well, Supplement Well, Digest Well, a nonconformist approach to optimal health, which I feel like anybody just getting started with their health journey or deep into it, this is such a good read because it can get really overwhelming to think about what to shift or when you're looking at supplements, what to look for on the labels. And I learned so much about what people can say on a bottle, what they can lie about on a bottle, like what the true requirements are to be able to make a claim. And so thank you so much for writing this book for everybody to kind of step into making some changes and kind of simplifying health and wellness.
Yep, that's the goal really for the book and my company overall is empowering optimal health. It's, so it's just kind of helping people get a better understanding so they can make better choices. So it's not telling somebody what to do, take this, do that. It's more like, here's my experience, 30 years of experience distilled down to what's most important, because there's so much noise and conflicting information out there that I try to get it down to I hate to say the word basics, but it's like, it's almost unavoidable, having the knowledge of just the foundational health and honoring and respecting the body, that it's so powerful, what it can do. So it's basically help get it into balance and then get out of the way. Let it do, try not to solve problems with, pharmaceuticals or even supplements, just throwing stuff at the wall. It's more like, hey, the body's amazing. Let's support the body.
Which is beautiful because you own a supplement company. So I love that you have the integrity of, okay, before you even think about buying any of my products, let your body do its thing. Feed it these foods that are meant to really help it function properly. And if there are some deficiencies, or you're wanting more energy, or you really want to boost your immune system, fill in the blank because you have something for everything, then you lead the reader to those things. So I just want to call that out, that it's not a book saying like, take my supplements. It's really saying, no, first let's start with fueling your body with some nutritious food, which I really appreciate.
Coming from a man who has had quite the health journey, if you missed it, listeners, go back to our first episode with Dan where he dives into his health journey. The credibility is there. And, when you have that story from a founder who went through it himself, I think it makes me feel a lot more comfortable taking a supplement. And then, the research behind all of the work that they're doing at Smidge, it is incredible. Today, we really want to talk about these products. We want to talk about the book. But first, Dan, we want to leave listeners with an instant little piece of gold, something they're going to get from this episode right off the bat. I'm curious what comes to mind when you think of that.
Yeah, and really, it's really the title of the book, and so it's, the three pillars of nutritional health really is, eat well, supplement well, and digest well. And what that really means is really eating a real food diet, ensuring proper digestion so you can maximize the value of that food. And then also just focusing on a few key nutrients. So it's not like you got to take a supplement for everything. It's really, so that's really it in a nutshell. And so if you could, I used to always say, diet, 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 but really it's really diet plus, digestion plus supplementing with a few key things. And so, I know we'll be covering Kakadu plum and emu oil and digestive enzymes in this episode. But one thing I wanted to mention as well is really two key foundational supplements that I think is kind of a no-brainer to start with is beef liver capsules. And so beef liver is nature's multivitamin, and what that means is it has vitamin A, which is hard to come by unless you're eating organ meats. It has B vitamins, B12, lots of minerals, including copper. So these are all things that you might not get even if you're eating a clean diet. Mm-hmm. But so these are great nutrients, naturally occurring. And the other one is magnesium, specifically morning magnesium. We have a morning magnesium supplement that has 3 different types of magnesium. Why magnesium? It's used in, some people say thousands of different functions in the body. So and the other stat on magnesium is the majority of people are deficient. And so why are they deficient? It's either somewhat related to diet, but also just stress and, or even taking pharmaceuticals, or so it could be emotional stress, physical stress, or just working out. So there's a lot of things that can run down your magnesium since it's used in hundreds or thousands of functions in the body, that once you get low in magnesium, you're gonna suffer. So combining the beef liver plus a magnesium supplement would get you, a nice baseline.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the evening magnesium. That's one of the many supplements of Smidge that we've seen such a huge improvement just in our overall sleep, our anxiety, digestion. Will you talk about the difference between the evening and the morning? I think that would be helpful for people to understand.
Sure. Yeah. So this is something that I noticed what people would do when they first started taking magnesium, generally speaking. A lot of people like to take too much of anything. It's like, oh, more is better, but that's not always the case. Mostly not ever the case. But but in particular with magnesium, there's different types of magnesium that has different characteristics. So, for example, you have magnesium glycinate or magnesium taurinate. So they behave a little bit differently. And the reason that there are different types is magnesium is unstable, so you can't just take pure magnesium. It has to be attached to something. And so so what it's attached to gives it different characteristics, basically. So anyways, what we saw was people would find one, take one, and usually take too much and then have some negative side effect. So they're like, oh, magnesium doesn't work, or it made me worse. And so basically what we came out with was, hey, let's maximize the value or the upside of the magnesium and minimize any downside with taking magnesium. And so that led us to putting 3 different types of magnesium in the morning magnesium. And these are more associated with energy, heart health, exercise. And so then we have 3 in the morning, and then we also add a little bit of boron. Boron helps magnesium absorption, helps with bone health. And then in the evening, we have 2 different types of magnesium, and those 2 are more associated with calming and sleep. That's why we call it evening magnesium. So anyways, you could take one or the other, see what works best for you. And it's like, listen to your body. Just because it works for somebody else might not have the same impact that on you. And, it's funny, one of the, sometimes I'll go through the reviews, and if I see a negative review, I'll read it, and once in a while it'll say, oh, it didn't work for me. I'm thinking in my head, like, what didn't work? Mm-hmm. It's magnesium, it's a clean, pure formula, and it's supposed to support your body. And so if you already have enough magnesium, you might not feel anything, right? So we're in this Western mindset, Western culture of like taking this over-the-counter medication or this prescription or that, like you're trying to solve problems. What we're doing at Smidge is really trying to support the body. Again, this is kind of the message that we're trying to get across. It's not, it's not saying it doesn't work. It just maybe you in particular don't need that product, and that's totally fine. That's great. If you can take less stuff, that's better for you, for the pocketbook, and that means you're digesting well and absorbing your nutrients.
I love that you have that morning and you have that evening, and it's kind of like, what do you struggle with a little bit more? Like, do you struggle with getting good sleep or having that calm down period before bed, or anxiety, or do you have like that morning trouble with the energy? And so that's just like, for me, like the most basic way of thinking about, like, I don't really struggle with energy in the morning. So I don't really take that one regularly, but the nighttime one for me. And so I think sometimes when we're thinking about like, what is our problem? What are we trying to solve? I think that's really important first. Like, I don't think you should be taking something, like you said, if you don't know what it is you're trying to fix, like, okay, what did you expect to happen? I don't know. It's so interesting. But I want to talk about your book a bit more, because I like that you have the word nonconformist. And when I think about this age right now, I think about social media and what everybody's saying and what everybody's, all of these trendy fads that we have with health. And so I want to just talk about, you identify as a nonconformist, and I'm just intrigued to hear kind of why you identify that way and why you decided to write this book this way.
I guess the best example on the nonconformist would be right now in overall from a holistic or from a even allopathic Western medicine culture, is like vitamin D is a great example. Like everybody is like, take lots of vitamin D, and nobody mentions like maybe there's a downside. I like when I trained with Donna Gates' body ecology diet, she would talk about there's not good or bad, there's just front or back. And so I think that's one good way to look at it. So I guess on the nonconformist side is, be careful if everybody's running in one direction. It's a good time to pause and just take a step back. And so again, I brought up the vitamin D. I think people kept testing and trying to improve their levels, and the only way to improve levels to whatever amounts that they recommend is to take high doses of vitamin D, and that seems really goes against, I don't want to say common sense, but if you look from an ancestral perspective, like there was no way to get that amount of vitamin D through diet. If you ate cod liver oil, which is a concentrated form of vitamin A and D, you would have to almost like drink a whole bottle or something to get what people are telling you to take. So that's the nonconformist is, don't run with the crowd all the time, basically. Yeah. And then even on the diet side, again, it's always, you want to just pause once in a while and reflect, like, okay, what is, from an ancestral perspective, I think that's a good mechanism to say, oh, were they eating, packaged gluten-free foods? Probably not,
Yeah.
And so maybe that's not the best way, or they were taking mega doses of vitamin D. So there's a lot of things that people seem to get sucked into and never maybe do a check and balance.
Yeah, I think with social media these days, it's easy to get sucked in. And I speak from experience, especially when you're in pain, you're not feeling well, you just want that magic pill. You want that one thing to help. And one part of this book, the trilogy, is the digest well piece. And I think that's something that women are struggling a lot with these days. So I'd love to hear your ancestral, nonconformist opinion on the digestion piece.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't live in an ancestral world. We're not just out, maybe some people have the luxury of homesteading and, having a slower lifestyle, but most people are under the gun, working, raising kids. They got so many activities in their life, right? And so we're not always eating perfectly. And so from a digestion standpoint, right, we have a lot of things coming at us, right? So from a processed food standpoint, from sugar to over-the-counter medication, so many things that are having a negative impact on our gut health. So it's not just like taking antibiotic. It could be taking just, pain medication or anything like. It seems like everybody, when I go out in public, everybody has like a bottle of, pain medication in their purse, whether it's ibuprofen or Tylenol or something. And it's just like, and people are taking that way too much. And then that's impacting their gut health, right? So we don't even know, we're not even aware of all the things that are impacting, even tap water, chlorine, so you're just nonstop assault on our gut health.
Yeah.
Diet is always key, but then there's always a chance to, I talked to a mother who was doing the GAPS diet, gut and psychology syndrome, GAPS diet for their son, and super clean diet. Everything's perfect, right? And they weren't seeing any gains, in their health or any improvements. And they're like, and they were certified GAPS practitioners. So they were dialed in. Mm-hmm. And then they added our HCl plus enzymes, digestive supplement, and everything started clicking, so the diet, it was like the key to unlock what they were doing through diet. They were able to just kind of, that was just the missing piece. So once we're behind the eight ball, basically, in digestive health, even if you ate perfectly clean, in this example, it quite wasn't enough. And so that's where I think back to Empower Optimal Health, like if hey, let me try a digestive enzyme or try HCl, hydrochloric acid, to see if that can trigger the healing. Mm-hmm. and then maybe you don't have to take it forever, but it's just to get you to first base.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that too, because this is something that Brooke regularly takes. And I know there's a couple digestive enzymes, but I think a lot of people can relate to that, especially women. We're in our 30s, 40s, eating majority clean diet, right? Trying to eat the fruits and the veggies, leaning more on protein, trying to get fit, all those things. But there is a lot of bloating. There is a lot of constipation. There is a lot of tummy issues, especially with women. And I'm sure it has a lot to do with hormones and all kinds of things. But I love that this is a relief for women, that's who's listening to our podcast. And I know Brooke's taken it and she has seen awesome benefits of pairing this with food. But could you talk about the difference between the two enzymes that you have and just why they work, why they would be kind of this magic little helper in the midst of clean eating that would help with everything?
Who should take what? Yeah. Which one?
Yeah. If you've listened to the podcast for a while, I used to be the biggest skeptic about supplements. I thought, I can definitely get everything I need from food. But then I started to realize that high quality, clean supplements weren't about replacing a healthy diet. They were about optimizing my health in a way I never thought possible. For instance, I discovered what so many women eventually do. I was deficient in magnesium. Now that it's part of my routine, I'm sleeping better and I feel absolutely amazing. It made me realize that quality matters more than anything.
When it comes to taking supplements, ingredient integrity is a must for us both, and that's why we trust Smidge. Smidge offers a small line of foundational supplements, core nutrients, including 100% whole food vitamins, and digestive support for people who prioritize real food, but know even the best diets have gaps. They obsess over ingredient integrity, crafting minimal, clean products with zero additives and rich nutrients meticulously sourced from around the world. We both love Smidge's magnesium, but with my chronic gut health issues, Smidge's digestive support is my tried and true. I use their digestive enzymes every single day before meals, and it has been a game changer in post-meal bloat, fatigue, and overall digestion for me. If you have any digestive issues, their enzymes, including the original and HCl plus enzymes, are a must try.
Smidge just dropped some incredible whole food supplements that we've been loving. First up, their Kakadu Plum. Most vitamin C supplements are just mass-produced synthetic chemicals, but this is the real deal from Australia. It's pure, whole food vitamin C that your body actually knows how to use for glowing skin and a rock-solid immune system.
I'm also obsessed with their Australian emu oil. You won't find this at a typical health store. It's the best source of vitamin K2, MK4, which is a total game changer for women's bone and heart health. While plant-based K2 is hard for your body to process, Smidge's emu oil is already pre-converted, so your body absorbs it instantly.
So, if you want a brand that is truly backed by research, derived from sustainable principles, and only wants to provide you with the freshest, highest quality nutrients, it's Smidge.
Head over to getsmidge.com to check out their magnesium, emu oil, Kakadu plum, and their fantastic digestive enzymes. And don't forget to use our code GOLDIV10 at checkout for 10% off.
Really, the impetus for the HCl plus enzyme product was really people on the GAPS diet because they were, doing all these things to support their health. But then it has what's unique about our product is you can go to the store and buy HCl supplement, but usually those are products that have a higher dose HCl than most people need. So then you might take it and you can take too much HCl. That'll cause different heartburn or acid indigestion or whatever. So it's a product that you have to be careful with. And so generally speaking, we say don't take HCl if you're younger, but as you get older, usually your HCl levels decline. Anyways, our HCl plus enzymes is not only HCl with a lower dose, so you can titrate your dose. So you could take 1 pill, see if that works. 2 maybe is better. 3 might be too much, and then okay, I'll stick with 2 or 1. And but then we also include in that product, it has HCl and pepsin, and then it has enzymes for fat digestion and enzymes for protein. So people that are trying to eat more ancestral, usually eating cleaner and eating more fat and protein, because it's like, hey, there's good fats out there. I'm going to eat good fat. And a lot of times we've seen people that shift from, kind of a sad standard American diet to a real food or ancestral diet, and their body doesn't know how to digest the extra protein or extra fat. So the HCl plus enzymes are great for adults that are eating more ancestral. And so then the other product is just simply called Digestive Enzymes, and that one doesn't have the HCl, so that's great for any age, really. And the difference between that one is instead of the HCl, we added some more enzymes for hard to digest vegetables. So if you're eating like a bigger salad or different vegetables like broccoli or cauliflower that's maybe harder to digest, the Digestive Enzymes has those types of enzymes, including as well as the fat and protein. So really, most people have kind of both bottles in their household. And so you can, with the Digestive Enzymes, you can't overdo it. There's no downside because enzymes are really just specific proteins. And so if you take too much, your body's going to be like, oh, there's some extra protein or whatever. It's not doing anything. Where HCl is hydrochloric acid, and that will you can take too much of that. So don't go overboard on HCl.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for explaining that.
Listening to your body.
What do you use? What's your go-to?
The digestive enzymes.
Yeah.
I feel like I take enough of other things that I'm like, let me just get the basics here. I have alternated though, and I think anytime I use it, it's helpful. Yeah. So to really tell the difference, but I lean more towards the digestive enzymes.
Nice.
One other thing is people that have acid reflux usually think they have too much acid, and then people take antacid, and that's usually the wrong approach. Usually it's it's kind of like a dichotomy. I mean, it's usually when you have acid reflux, it's usually too little acid, and that's where the HCl can help with. So that would be another trigger to say, hey, I'm having acid reflux. Let me try the HCl.
Okay, good to know. Awesome.
I think it's hard to feel good if you're not absorbing those nutrients. So if you're noticing you're having bloating or constipation or just like your stomach's off, I think supplementing with a digestive enzyme to see, okay, what can this change is such a good place to start. It's something I've noticed a huge, like when I'm not taking them, especially if I'm eating out, if I'm eating at family's house or friends, or I'm eating things I don't normally eat, it has just been such a way to calm my stomach with meals I'm not used to. Just want to throw that little tidbit out there.
Love it. All right, I want to switch gears here and talk about vitamin C. Because I know a lot of people, they grew up taking their Flintstone vitamins, right? And then they became adults. And then they're like, wait, I think I got my vitamin C from my Flintstone vitamins. And then they feel like they need to be taking it on top of, getting it from food. And you have the Kakadu plum. Am I saying that right?
It's, you can say it however you like. The proper way would be Kakadu.
Kakadu.
Which is not obvious.
Okay.
So it took me about a year to get with the program.
Okay. Kakadu plum, which is an Australian fruit. I love this. And I'm so curious about this because I think about, these fortified orange juices versus getting it from fruit versus getting it from, wherever. And why this is kind of superior, why focusing on the Kakadu plum will help people get that vitamin C that we need.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So yeah, most vitamin C in the market is really manufactured in a lab that's, so you're creating ascorbic acid. So you're having it's really one part of the whole vitamin C complex. And so, and that, people can debate whether it's good or bad. But what we, again, kind of, we have this kind of lens or filter, like, okay, from an ancestral perspective and a real food perspective, that when we found Kakadu plum, that's the richest source of naturally occurring vitamin C. People think of oranges or even what now I'm drawing a blank.
Strawberries.
There's some, yeah. So there's all these different types of vitamin C out there.
Yeah.
Kakadu plum is like off the charts, way higher than other products. But vitamin C is only one component of it. So there, I guess there's a couple things. One is you have ascorbic acid just made in a lab, and most of that's made in China, which some people will shy away from. But then you have a whole food of vitamin C that has more components and cofactors, and so the body's gonna recognize that, like, hey, this is some real food coming at me. I like this, and it's not all about mega doses. It's more like getting something the body can recognize. The other key thing about Kakadu plum is, so not only you're getting the whole food vitamin C and the whole complex, and your body can recognize that. The other thing with Kakadu plum in particular, there's other nutrients in there. So you have these other phytonutrients, ellagic acid, which is an antioxidant. You have quercetin, flavonols. You have all these different things that some companies will sell those just as a separate supplement, right? You have individual bioflavonoid supplements out there. So that's what's really cool about Kakadu plum is that not only you're getting the whole food real vitamin C, and we use refractants window drying to dry it, so it doesn't use heat, so all the nutrients are maintained. So we're not fortifying with ascorbic acid or anything like that. So you're getting the greatness of the Kakadu, of all the nutrients and cofactors. You're getting all the flavonoids and all these other plus other minerals. So it's just jam-packed with antioxidants. So it's not calling it a vitamin C supplement is only part of the equation.
Yeah, when I think about vitamin C, my brain goes to immunity and, not getting sick with the common cold or flu. But what about adrenal health and maybe some other benefits that this supplement would have for just women?
You're getting the whole food vitamin C, you're getting antioxidants. So those are going to, protect your cells, block free radicals. So we're always, getting inundated with stuff in our environment. Some of it we can't control. It supports the creation of collagen. So this is going to be great for your skin. So not only immunity, but skin health, mood, energy, cognitive function. So the phytonutrient side, off the charts with antioxidants, basically. So great for great for anybody looking to reduce free radical damage, and that can occur anywhere in the body, really.
Wow. So it's going to boost your immune system, make your hair and your nails and your skin look better.
Mood.
Tell me more. Tell me less. That's amazing. And speaking of skin health, we also know another product that you have is the this is very hard to say, emu oil. And I am so curious about this product and how you get emu oil. Brooke would love to help you get emu oil. She loves emu.
Dan, how do you say it?
Emu.
Now you're going to make me not say it right. Emu oil.
Emu oil.
There you go.
Brooke would like to help you collect that because she loves birds and wants to get chickens and emus, and
it's the only part of the ancestral diet I will not do. I'll never have chickens. Just going to put that on the record here.
Okay, but yeah, we want to hear about that too because we've heard of so many benefits, including the skin health too. And so tell us about it. Hey everyone, if you're like me, January through May means cold and flu season. But this year, I'm ready. Besides the all things elderberry gummies my kids ask for every morning, I want to talk about something that is a non-negotiable in my fridge, the everyday elderberry elixir from All Things Elderberry. They call it an elixir, not a syrup, and here's why. It's made with organic, farm-fresh Missouri elderberries, never dried. That gives it a light, uniquely juicy, and palatable consistency. It's not thick or overly sweet. And the difference it makes for me is huge. For me, a tablespoon anytime I feel that first little tickle in my throat or before a big event where I absolutely refuse to be sick. It either completely kicks symptoms to the curb or lessens them so fast. Even my oldest, Cora, is asking for it. I will never not have it. It's my daily defense. And who needs that defense more right now than our bride-to-be, Brooke?
Ooh, yes. Wedding season is basically a marathon. Between the bridal showers, the bachelorette trip to Florida, and all the main events, I don't have time to be run down. The thought of getting sick before my bachelorette trip, no thank you. I'm taking my elderberry elixir with me every morning, whether I'm at home or on the road. It's my little insurance policy so I can fully enjoy this once-in-a-lifetime season without worry. It's literally for the mom who holds everything together and the bride who is trying to hold her wedding together.
That's right. Whether you're a busy parent, a traveler, or a bride prepping for the big day, you deserve this defense. Stop letting illness slow you down. Head over to allthingselderberry.com right now.
And for 15% off your very first order, use our special code GOLDIVY. That's GOLDIVY. Get the everyday elderberry elixir. It's the defense you deserve.
Are you tired of the endless battle with cravings? Do you dream of managing your appetite without the hassle, the side effects, or the hefty price tag?
Then it's time to meet Dr. Stephanie. She's not just a doctor of pharmacy. She's a certified diabetes educator and a leading hormone expert. She listened to your struggles and formulated a gentle, natural solution, GLP Wonder.
GLP Wonder is a revolutionary supplement designed for an easier path to appetite control and hunger management. How? It works by combining powerful natural ingredients like eriocitrin and green tea extract to naturally support your body's own GLP-1 levels. This signals fullness to your brain, curbs those persistent cravings, and even helps fight insulin spikes, that stubborn, fat-storing hormone.
The result? Reduced hunger, better appetite control, and a more natural way to stay on track with your diet and goals. It's effective, it's safe, and it's affordable. Just 1 capsule per day for powerful results.
GLP Wonder is now easier than ever to find. Look for Dr. Stephanie's GLP Wonder at Walgreens, CVS, and Walmart And we are thrilled to announce that you can now find it in Target stores nationwide.
Stop waiting and start winning the fight against cravings today. Find your nearest store, or to learn more and shop the full Dr. Stephanie's collection, visit drstephanies.com. And for a limited time, use code GOLDIVY30 for 30% off all Dr. Stephanie products at drstephanies.com.
The Kakadu plum's from Australia, and the emu is from Australia. And so, this is so emu is one of these big flightless birds that roam around. They've been there for over 60 million years. They've been roaming around Australia. So this is another ancestral product. So the emu stores, the nutrients in its fat. And so that helps it during, it can be pretty harsh in Australia with droughts and stuff like that. So you have this bird that's collecting nutrients and it's storing it in its fat. And so the fat of that bird is rich in omegas, and it also has one of the vitamins that it's rich in is vitamin K2. The MK4 is from animals. So that, again, this is from our perspective and from the perspective of Weston Price. What he found was when you're eating more ancestral, people that, avoided animal products were not as healthy as people that did eat animal products. And so there's a lot of nutrition in not only the protein, but also the organ meats and also the fat, right, in the animal products. So emu oil is the fat rendered down gently to retain the nutrients. And so it's this rich fat with omegas and K2 are the primary two nutrients in emu oil.
Okay. And that, just like the fish oil, will help with inflammation too, I'm assuming, if it's a good, healthy fat?
Exactly. So in Australia, a lot of people will use that emu for if they're having arthritis or joint pains. It's not a high heat processing or anything. So these are gently rendered. And so you're retaining maintaining the quality of the omegas in the emu oil to give you, give you the benefits of omega fatty acids. Correct.
That's amazing. I'm thinking of this as from a business standpoint, being like, Brooke and I, our magic comes right from Minnesota. It's like our services, our products, we're making them right here. You're hanging out in Australia. You've got beef coming from New Zealand. You've got...
but pause. Not to interrupt you, but how do you collect the emu oil?
So it's the bird
dead
gives
bird.
Its life for our health.
Gives its
Just
life
like a
to
chicken
our
does,
health.
Or any other animal with a beef liver, right? So yeah, we take the bird and then render the fat just like you'd render any other, if you're making lard or tallow, or if you had chickens and you wanted to make chicken fat, that's so that those are all ways that So these are pasture raised, so they're out running free and eating, pasture raised emus, heritage breed.
I love it.
It's all. Everybody's happy running around and free until they give up their emu oil for us.
Yeah, I love it. Well, and I think you need a couple interns to go check on them. I think we need to go to New Zealand. We need to go to Australia for Smidge. They need us.
As long as they're dead.
We'll take great content.
Like my supplement. I will eat the chicken. I will eat all of the birds, but I prefer them dead.
Okay, well, I think we should go visit them before they're dead. We'll go check out the pastures.
But if I know, that's, I'm not agreeing to anything live
we
here.
make some great content for Smidge because we love it and we use it. But I also think we should fly there and just make sure the pastures are doing all right.
I mean, what is cool is all of these supplements are things that your doctor has recommended, or your doctor's recommended vitamin C, omega-3s, a multivitamin. But then you take this approach, this nonconformist approach is there a better way to get these vitamins? what makes a supplement better than other ones on the market, other ones on the shelf? And I think it is the ingredients, the integrity behind the ingredients. Where are you sourcing them from?
The process and not using the high heat like he talked about is which I think it makes it more tedious, right? Like whenever you talk about how you guys make your supplements, I'm like, you're not taking the easy route. Like you're not batching, you're not making thousands and thousands of products at one time. Like you are doing this in such a way that keeps the quality of how it was like in nature as much as you possibly can to get it to our door, which I really appreciate. And I think, it coming from New Zealand and Australia, just to kind of know that this is an animal that is all the way across the world and that it's getting to your home and that you're able to get the benefits. It's really powerful and it's exciting, and I want to go and see them.
So these emus, like I said, been around for millions of years. They're native to Australia, and they're not shipping them out. They're like, they're staying here, so we have to go there to work with people there to make sure that they're taken care of well. And like you said, it is about the sourcing and the processing, and so it's completely different, business than just calling up a lab, say, hey, make this formula and add all these, vitamins that who knows where they're coming from.
I hope you're proud of yourself, because that can't be easy, because there's a lot of money in the supplement industry. If you were to take that easier route, I mean, I'm sure there's money, period, but you could have, skyrocket your amount of products you have if you were to just, shoot an email and say, make this happen. We'll slap whatever on the label. And so I'm just so happy we found you guys, that we're partnered with Smidge. It just makes us feel good, and that, we can partner with integrity like that in a brand. I just love it. I'm so happy that not only that you exist, but now our audience, if they didn't tune in last time, they know about you now, and they have some more products to try to see how good they can feel.
Which product, looking back, are you most surprised with that maybe, the you 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when you were in the midst of the bottom with your health journey, and how far you've come?
I really like, it's funny, the beef liver, we're getting this, really high quality beef liver from New Zealand, and it's freeze dried. So it's, capturing all the nutrients. And I remember back when I was a teen, I was, most boys are lifting weights and working out. And then I remember going to buy beef liver, and back then it wasn't freeze dried. So it was, there was using heat. So I bought a big bottle of, like, the cheapest was the powder, and it was, it was horrible, the most horrible thing I ever took. And so now it's, I just laugh now that I have this nice clean beef liver that's freeze dried, and you can take it, and it's not gross, and it's life giving, and it's like old school. It's like this is like, Arnold's, all the old great bodybuilders of the 60s, were taking beef liver. So that's kind of a fun one, that it's like the OG, type vitamin.
Yeah. Teenage you is patting yourself on the back right now, like, no way, we did what?
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's such a cool way to get back to the basics, but to kind of have the edge. Right? A lot of people are like high in their supplement game of, I take this and I take the beef liver and the creatine and all the things now. But reading this book, it's like less is more. And how can you get back to, I like to say, the fundamentals of health, to let your body thrive the way it was designed to. Like, we have self-healing bodies given the right environment. And I just want everyone to pick up this book. I think right now is the perfect time. We're in January. Everyone's probably detoxing from all of the holiday sugar. And this book, my copy at home, this is Andrea's copy, but it is full of highlights and X's and revisit and just different things that at any point you're feeling great, you're feeling less than, you can pick up this book and just get a little inspiration, a little something to try to keep the hope.
Yeah, and I think sometimes
healing
too,
alive. Like
books like this, where you're gonna learn about health, or you're gonna, it's more educational. They're hard to read. Like, it's hard to get through. And this is such an easy read. Like, I feel like I read this whole book on an airplane ride. It felt like I was sitting with you and you were like, let's just talk about the fundamentals, what to kind of look out for, what to start with. It was like easing into just kind of like a deeper level of health, of understanding our bodies more, understanding the supplement industry, and kind of, if you're going to have a couple things, what to start with. I agree. I just think it is such a great book. You're going to highlight it like crazy. This is my second copy of it, so that's why it's so clean. And it's a really cool cover. I like how it feels too.
Where can everyone get the book, Dan?
Just go to Amazon and order a copy there. And so, I appreciate the feedback on the book. And that was really, what took a while was to really create this conversational tone in the book to really make it accessible to everybody, but then also to have some of these golden nuggets kind of behind the curtain of the, some of the supplement things in there with the vitamin C and how to find a good vitamin C product. And so, really proud of the book and really super grateful for your feedback and grateful for being on the show again.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you know better, you can do better. And I think you simplified it so that everybody feels like they can understand it. It's one thing to know there's information out that's important for me to know, but like this is so digestible and
pun intended.
Everybody's going to feel so much better. So go to Amazon and get Eat Well, Supplement Well, Digest Well.
We're also going to link it in the notes below.
Yes.
Okay. Dan, from being on our show before, we leave listeners with 3 gold stars. Top 3 takeaways, digestible pieces of advice you want to leave people with. What would your 3 gold stars today be?
Yeah. So I think you guys talked about it, the importance of, digestion and trying the, digestive enzyme specifically. One quick anecdotal story. I was at a conference and lady came by and she had a stomach ache for like 3 months. And then she took the HCl plus enzyme supplement and she said her stomach ache went away. She never, it was just like, felt so much better. So that's number one is, look for, try the digestive supplement and digestive enzyme or HCl and enzymes, because that could be a game changer for you. The other is, really the message about eating well. It's really all about finding the best sources of food and focus on the diet. And then the vitamin C, whole food vitamin C is important, and Kakadu plum is that, and then some. You get all the antioxidants that's off the charts, and the antioxidants.
I love it. Awesome. Okay, and then we have Unleashing Ivy, which we did last time, but just questions we're curious about. I don't know why, but my brain is going to travel. Maybe it's from thinking about wanting to go to New Zealand and Australia. But I'm thinking about when you travel and with just caring for your health, like what are you packing with your Smidge supplements? Like what are your go-tos that are like, okay, I'm going to be gone for a full week. I got to take these or I'm not going to feel like myself.
Probably the 2 go-tos is the digestive enzymes, because no matter where I'm going, I'm going to have some restrictions on what food I have access to. So that's a no-brainer. And then I go with the morning magnesium. Just there's going to be extra stress in my life traveling, and that's going to really help support the body.
Oh, I love it.
Good question. Okay, my question is the Eat Well piece of this book. We talked a lot about the supplements and the digest well piece. You talked about the Weston A. Price. You talked about the Weston A. Price diet and some other ones, the GAPS diet in there. What would you recommend people are feeling a little off from their Christmas, their holidays, their travel, basic level fundamentals of eating? Where would you recommend people start?
Well, number one is do some type of sugar detox, like get the sugar out, because most people have had, some sugar over the holidays. Not quite a reset, but a simple way to diet type related way to get yourself back into balance is if you made just some chicken soup, eating something that's something easier to digest. That's like broth is a key component of like the GAPS diet or eating soup was you have cooked vegetables, cooked meat in there, and your body doesn't have to struggle digesting that. And so I think that's a great, simple way that everybody could do is just to make some nice homemade, chicken soup, and your body will thank you for that.
Oh, that sounds good right now. It's soup season.
Yeah. And the broth is healing on the gut, and also cooked versus raw veggies are easier to digest, if I'm right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're slowing down. You're not scarfing down a sandwich fast. You're slowing down to enjoy your soup. That's probably a little bit like stress relief.
Yeah. Well, I think just based on my experience, I always thought, okay, eating clean, eating whole real foods, lots of salads, raw veggies. And then I would eat that way and I'd be like, why do I feel even worse? And then I switched more just through research to doing the cooked and the steamed, and I felt so much better. So I do just want to call that out, that anyone struggling with bloating or just tummy issues, try the cooked and see what you notice.
Yeah. Great advice. Okay. Last question. Since we asked you this before, I don't know why I keep thinking about your story. And if people aren't familiar, they can go back and listen to your last episode. But you were experiencing some really low lows and you had no answers. And I just keep thinking about this journey of yours of figuring out why you were endlessly eating and could not have the energy, or you constantly felt like you needed to eat, and you tried getting answers in so many ways. And now you're at this place where you're really helping people thrive. And it is so crazy, your journey. It's so wild. And I'm sure, you're living your life now and this is your norm, but it's beautiful what you've done. And I'm curious, as one of the founders of Smidge and just your personal health journey, like what are you most proud of when you think about that?
It's great to see my kids' health and my kids thrive. And, one of the things that always stood out with me was in my business, our goal really is, besides empowering optimal health, the other goal is to change 1 million lives. And when I shared that with my kids, one of my boys said to me, it's like, Dad, you already did that. And it was like so powerful, so that I'm just so grateful that I was able to take my 10 years of struggles and kind of flip it around to give back to humanity and to help others. And I love the fact that I was able to put it into a book to make it just so accessible that it's not a deep dive in science. It's more like, okay, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that went into that, but to make it super accessible to even help more people on their journey. So I'm super proud of that.
I love it. I think it's important for you to think back on what you're proud of, because that's a huge accomplishment. I mean, you were in the lowest of lows and you could have stayed there and you didn't. And you're helping so many people. So thank you, Dan. Thank you for writing this book and just your continued work with Smidge. We love being a part of it. We love taking your supplements, and we feel better because of it. We want everybody else to feel better. And so we'll have links to Smidge. Shop around, get that kakadu plum and the emu oil.
Yeah. And I love too, just looking at all the reviews. Like that has got to make you feel good of all of the hard work, not taking the easy way, but the actual healing way, doing the work to get the results of thousands of reviews. It is awesome to see and to be a part of and to experience. So like Andrea said, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah, I love to read the reviews at my dinner table. I share them with my employees, our team. It's just like you can't get over it. It's just that keeps me driven, to see all the people being helped. And so, so super appreciate being on the show with you guys. Appreciate what you guys are doing. And thanks for sharing everything that we're doing over here at Smidge.
Yes, it's our honor. Well, and as you know, Dan, we leave every episode with a piece of gold, a quote that speaks to you. Would you send us off with yours?
There's a quote from Weston Price, and I might be misquoting, but life in all its fullness is Mother Nature obeyed. So, and I think that's, it kind of really sums up what we're doing on the supplement side, and then just on the real food side of things is obey Mother Nature. and you will live your best life.
Love it. This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth or Mother Nature's truth and chase your gold. We want to thank you and encourage you to celebrate yourself for taking the time to learn and get inspired in your one beautiful life. And if this podcast means something to you, it would mean so much to us if you'd be willing to take 30 seconds to help support our mission to keep bringing you inspiring stories and guests.
First, following the podcast is important because it helps you never miss an episode. To do this, just go to the Ivy Unleashed podcast show page on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and then just tap the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner or click on follow.
While you're there, if you'd be so kind to give us a 5-star rating and review and share your favorite episode with a friend, we'd be so grateful for your support.
We are thrilled you're here and are so happy that you're taking time to prioritize your wellness, self-discovery, and growth with us. Additionally, we want to remind you that this podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We are not licensed therapists, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals.